Hello,
Hi.
hello, hello.
Hi, y'all. It's so good to see everybody. Part two of the Diddler. Yay. The Diddler.
I'm having internet connections already.
You know
And
what? Don't you think he's kind of a mix between the Joker and the Riddler from Batman? So he could be the Diddler. No, actually, Wade Wilson is a mix between the Joker and the Riddler from Batman, with all of his tattoo kind of stuff going on. But uh, Diddy is Diddy
sick,
is sick. He is sick,
perverted.
and it just goes on and on and on and on. And I heard through the grapevine today that Justin Bieber's going to testify.
House.
And God bless him
We,
because he is so messed up. I feel so sorry. I say prayers for him because
I hope they nail
he is so
maybe,
messed.
maybe once it gets all out in the open, he can start healing.
I hope so too because it is it's a sad thing. I'm telling you, it is a sad thing what's going on there. Um,
Well, yeah. I mean, could you imagine if something like that happened to you at 15 years old? Think
well,
about it.
what was when I get my chance to be able to deep dive into all this kind of stuff and keep diving and diving, the more you get to learning and the worse it gets. Hello, Royal Apple. It's so good to see you. Prayers for you, my friend. Yeah, and prayers for, really, we really need to say big prayers and prayers for him to be stand strong because, you know, it would be hard. So one of his victims came live today and was talking live, and I got to see it. And she cried and she cried and she cried, and it was very hard for her. Of course, I can imagine it's got to be hard for anyone to get up on national television or any kind of camera and say this happened to you. But I was watching the chat, and people are so cruel and so awful. I couldn't believe what I was reading in the chat. Oh, she's doing this for money. Oh, she's doing this because she wants fame. Oh, look at her. She's just. And I wanted to say, you know what? Put your money where your mouth is. If it happened to you, could you get up here in front of everybody and say it happened to you? I
You know
doubt
what?
it. I doubt
All the money in the world is not going
to
to
fix it.
help her,
No,
fix her.
no.
That's embedded in her brain for the
Yep,
rest of her life.
yep, yep, yep. And she said she had problems being intimate.
Thank you, Royal Apple. Well, I can understand that. I mean, because there's a fine line between sex
Yep,
and making love.
yep,
There's a fine
yep,
line,
yep.
you know, and
Yeah, that's one we're talking about, Royal Apple. That's one we're talking about. The girl that was on, yep, with Aldred.
yeah,
I felt sorry for her because that's a hard thing. And all these people in the chat were going, oh, she's after the money. Oh, she's after this. Oh, she's after that. Oh, look at her. And I thought, y'all, it's really easy to sit behind a computer screen and talk a bunch of smack. I'm sorry. It's real easy to sit there, you idiot, typing all this stuff in. I felt so sorry for her. I put kudos to you. Good for you standing up. Good for you. You know what,
Yeah, that
Ron? Me too. I was crying too.
that takes a lot. I don't even know if I have the right word because it's more than guts. It takes a lot.
It does. It takes
Stand
everything
up
in your
front of
soul.
in front of a nation
Right.
and admit that this guy did these horrible things to her.
And you know dang good and well that she's thinking to herself, they're going to say, I put myself there. I put myself there. If I hadn't been there, this would not have happened to me. Now, you know what?
But you
That's
know,
not right.
that is often said.
And that's not right because just because you go somewhere does not mean it does not give the right for somebody to do that to you. That does not give anybody the right to do that to you.
That is the mentality.
And
And it's sad. It's
I
sad
felt,
that
I felt
women
so
are
sorry.
bullied like that. I am not on the wagon train, okay? I believe in equal rights, yada, 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 whatever. I'm not on the women are going to take over the world, you know. No,
Absolutely not.
no. Um, but there are very
We
strong
just,
strength that she has, her inner strength
mhm. It
things,
was a lot of inner strength to do that. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine. I can't even put my
especially from
brain
him,
around it.
him ripping that away from her, that inner strength. Because it's just like you have in your mind, I shouldn't have did it. I shouldn't have went there. I shouldn't have been there. I just shouldn't have did it. It's my fault.
Yep, yep, yep. I think that's what you say to yourself after it's done. It's like, I shouldn't have been there. If I hadn't put myself there, this wouldn't have happened. I shouldn't have gone. I shouldn't have. But you know what? That does not give anyone the okay to do what they did to her. I don't care.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And um I mean, I had a situation when I was younger and I blamed myself. It was not horrible, horrible, but I blamed myself. I shouldn't have been there.
But you know what? That does not, like I said, that does not give anybody the right to do what they did to
No,
her. Just
no.
because you were there. There's a difference between being in the right place at the right time and giving consent. If you give consent and you're there,
Right.
well, that's borderline, kind of waiver in there, depending on if they didn't drug you. But if they flat knock you out, drug you and knock you out, what? She didn't have a chance to consent. There is no consent there.
No. No, and it's sad.
It's horrible. It's
I mean,
horrible.
and these women have to walk around with that for the rest of their lives while he sits there and says, "Oh, it was consensual. It was consensual. Everything was consensual." So you done the dirty deed and bumped uglies how many times with how many thousands of people probably, and they all consented because they all wanted a piece of Diddy? I don't think so.
Oh, and we have to call in the doctor because he needs to bring in his IVs because you've done it so many times to him that they need an IV. Do you know how many times you'd have to do it to somebody that they need an IV? Have you thought about that?
I thought it was an IV for the drugs.
Oh, it's an IV because they were so dehydrated and messed up. I don't know, but I'll tell you this. I've never been in a situation that I needed an IV.
Nor I.
And
Other
these,
than when I was sick.
right? And these girls needed an IV the next day. I
Well,
mean, I can't even. And you know what, Leonardo DiCaprio, I hope you can see this video because I'd like to tell you, you are the biggest coward I have ever seen in my life.
what's going on with him?
Well, he was all there.
Oh,
We got many, many videos of him being there and doing his thing and was running in and out of there and everything. And you know what his comment was? I was never at any Diddy parties. That's a damn lie. DiCaprio, you were there. They got videos on you. It's going to come out, DiCaprio. Your ass is going to be in a lot of trouble.
it's
And
on video. Why are you going to deny it?
because he's going to
I
save
mean,
his face. He doesn't want to go down. A bunch of them in Hollywood right now are saying, oh, we were never there after hours. Okay, wait a minute. You weren't there after hours? Okay, so you knew it happened after hours? Because you wouldn't have said that if you didn't know that it happened after hours.
right.
I don't believe any of that. I don't believe
No.
one bit
I
of
mean,
it. They're all
how
trying to
would
save
they?
face.
How would they know to leave by 9 o'clock?
Oh, that's what I said. How'd you
You
know
know,
it was 9 o'clock? Was
is
the
writing
witch's
on the
hour?
wall. I mean, is it any different from? Well, for one thing, I'm going to tell you, half the people in Hollywood don't even go out until 10,
Oh,
11
Linda,
o'clock
how
at
sweet
night.
is that? Look how sweet that
Oh,
is.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You know, I'm going to tell you right now. I think that a lot of them are trying to save face. They're trying to save face, and they're trying to say, you know what? I didn't do anything. I
Right.
didn't do anything. I wasn't there. You got to prove I was there. Really, really, got to prove it.
Yep.
That's a joke.
That is.
That's a joke.
It's all on video, you idiots.
Every room had a camera.
You know, that'd be like,
Okay, Royal Apple, you know what? You're the first one. You're the first one, I believe, out of all of them I've heard that is absolutely right. You were not there because I know you weren't.
I wasn't there either.
And I wasn't there. Well, I might have been there, but I wasn't there after 9 o'clock.
I mean, I was in Miami.
I couldn't even get 10 feet close to Diddy without his security guard saying, get that woman out of here.
I went to Miami last year, but I didn't.
You didn't go to a Diddy party?
No, I wasn't invited.
No, I wasn't invited. And I don't think I would have wanted to go anyway. I was
wouldn't have
never into
went.
rap.
There's no way I would have went.
I was never into rap. I never liked rap music anyway. I would have said, who are you anyway? Are you that guy that was on with Will Smith that danced around? Oh, that's not you? Okay, well, I don't know who you are then. What was that guy's name, the one that danced? You know who I'm talking about, that was in that Will Smith King of the Hill thing or whatever. Will Smith was in that one show, and he had that one guy that was always dancing around him. Oh,
Fresh Prince?
yeah, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and he had that one guy that was dancing all the time.
Fonzo.
Yeah, that's the one. I would have said, you're not him? Okay, well, okay, so then I don't know who you are. But I'm going to tell you something I did learn that was pretty interesting. In 1958, the scariest man in Hollywood was who, do you think? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, go ahead. Tell me. I want y'all to tell me. Who do you think was the scariest man in Hollywood 1958? His family was afraid of him.
In 1958.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't know.
It's going to come as a shock to you because it shocked
But
me. And I
hang
thought,
on,
are
my
you
mom's calling
kidding?
me.
Go ahead. In 1958, the biggest, uh, I guess, pimp and pin, you want to call him, like Diddy? No,
Okay. Oh,
it wasn't Sinatra.
um, it's got to be somebody in the Rat Pack. Is
It
it?
wasn't. It
No.
wasn't. No, I was shocked, you guys. I was literally shocked. And his family was afraid of him. And they said he was the meanest person you ever saw in your life. And I thought, well, I never thought I couldn't see that. Even my mom, when I told my mama, she said, you're kidding me. Sidney Poitier. He had a horrible temper and he did a lot of the same stuff Diddy is doing right now. He just got away with it.
This has been going on for a long time.
It's
That's
been going on for a
why.
long time. Yeah, Jared Lee Lewis was well, he didn't go into everybody else. He just liked to do his wives. You know, they called him the killer because he was doing it. Well, we don't want to go there. My mama loved him, by the way. I didn't get it. And she loved Little Richard too, and he was kind of out there too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Sidney Poitier. I was like, Sidney Poitier. His family was afraid of him.
Interesting.
His daughters would go get their hair done and say, don't make my daddy mad. Please don't make my daddy mad because he's awful. He will hurt you.
How sad.
Yeah. How sad is that? So I mean this stuff goes way back. But this hanging people from their ankles and doing vampire parties and all that, that's all new. And you
Wasn't
know, I mean, it
wasn't he
just
the one that played in
yes.
Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
Do you remember the movie that it wasn't Mod Squad? It was
I Spy.
I Spy with Bill Cosby. Yeah, no see.
Yeah, but I think he was
He's been around a long
I
time.
think he was in the movie Guess
Wouldn't
Who's
say
Coming to Dinner when they brought it back because back then it was a big thing and he was black, so somebody brought him home for dinner and threw. Do you remember that?
Sidney Poitier was in Blackboard Jungle.
No, Disney himself was not. It's just what has taken over Disney. I don't think that Disney himself was a pedophile.
No, but Disney turned into pedophile ring over there. I don't know if Walt Disney was, but I don't think so. I never heard about that, but I do know that it is now kind of a crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up. Hang on, just because you said that he was in something of value. He was in Mr. Tibbs. He was in the Will Be Conspiracy. He was in Virgin Island. He was in Free of Eden. He was in. God, he was in a bunch of movies. The Defiant One. Uh, 1998, he was in Free of Eden. Let's see. He was in a bunch of them. It says the 32 biggest ones. In the Heat of the Night.
Yeah.
Yes, was coming to dinner. Yep, it was.
Yep. He was.
Lily on the Field. The Defiant One, separate. Separate but equal, a raisin in the sun, a patch of. I thought he was in the Jackal. He was in Blackboard Jungle, but he wasn't in Stand By Me. That wasn't him. I thought he was in Stand By Me too. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he wasn't in Stand By Me. I thought he was. But I mean, now we know who he is, right?
But you know, it would be really great
Hmm.
is if we find out like all the late night talk show hosts, if they're all involved. I would love that because I just think Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel are two of the most idiotic, stupid men I've ever seen in my life. And
That
that is
wouldn't
my
surprise me.
and it's just like Jimmy Fallon has an ego this big.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just this big. He
Well, I
thinks
can
he's the
guarantee you it wouldn't be Johnny Carson. I can't imagine Johnny Carson being in something like that. Can you?
no, but then again,
Who knows?
who knows? You know.
That's kind of a sick thought.
I
'Cause I
mean,
know
there's
Sydney.
some people that you can probably say for certain, like Dean Martin. Yeah, no, he
No,
loves.
because he was too busy with his wives.
Yeah, yeah.
And Sammy Davis Jr. Nah.
You know who else I heard was very mean was Jerry Lewis.
You know who they say is really mean that's in country? That she is just, but she's not mean as far as this kind of stuff. But she's got a mouth on her, is Winona Judd.
Oh yeah, I
She's
heard that
hateful.
too.
I heard she's really hateful. Um,
Yeah, I heard that.
yeah. I think we're going to get some names out here that are okay. So they had a video that was just released today that after Justin Bieber went through all the things that Justin Bieber went through, right? He went looking for someone for help and he got close to a preacher. And they have videos of him and the preacher. Now, let's wrap our head around that. You know, the kid's gone through so much and he turns to God for help to get through this mess in his brain. And he finds a preacher that wants to take advantage of him too. Now that is just heartbreaking. It's horrible. It's horrible. He's going to testify, Royal Apple. They said they didn't think, a lot of people said they didn't think he was going to do it, but Haley Baldwin has talked him into doing it. And you know, I'm going to
You
tell you,
better hope he doesn't be throwing his in-laws under the bus.
well, I'm going to tell you that it would be very healing for him
Oh
because
yeah.
it's to get it out. He
Oh,
can't
most
live with it.
definitely.
He can't live with it inside him forever. Um, Royal Apple, I'm going to tell you something, and you're not going to believe me. I swear. Well, I know you will because I know you'll believe me. People who are close to me do believe me, but you know, I get visions, right? I get visions every once in a while, and I don't conjure them. There's a difference. I don't conjure no visions. I don't go looking for them or whatever. They just come to me. Well, last night I was listening to a podcast before I went to bed. And while I was listening to the podcast, something was said. You know what? I'll even tell you who it was. I was listening to Amanda Grace's podcast of 4 hours prior, 5 hours prior. And she was talking about the different things that were happening or had happened. And she said, Diddy's only the beginning. There's another one coming out. Um, she said it's the Four Corners, and there's another big one coming out. And then she said, the minute she said, it's like the Cain and Abel story where God said, Cain, I hear your brother crying. His blood is crying from the ground, underneath the ground to me. It was like all of a sudden I looked over and I was in another place. And I could see somebody's backyard. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I saw that backyard, I could tell you right now exactly whose backyard it is if I could just see who it is. So right now, hang on to your britches because I'm going to start digging and see whose backyard it is because I saw backhoes and they were excavating bodies from somebody's backyard. And it wasn't like a little house, it was a mansion. So it was somebody with a lot of money, and they were excavating bodies from their backyard where they had buried them in their backyard. And I can describe that backyard like I was there. I know it. I can see it. And it's haunted me all day. I can see that backyard. I'm going to tell you right now, I got a kind of a funny idea whose backyard, and I'm looking. I told you, Linda, I'm looking. I'm looking that backyard and see if that's not who I think it is. Oh,
No,
it is definitely one of the rich and
I
famous.
am, you're fine.
You're fine, Cayman. I was just telling everyone that you know how sometimes I get visions of different things. Well, I had a vision last night, and it was a great big mansion. It was definitely the rich and famous, and they were excavating bodies from this person's backyard. They had the backhoes going, and you know what's really funny about the vision is it was, you know how in some rich houses how you see it's like a cobblestone path, that kind of thing. Well, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. It wasn't that kind of path. It wasn't that kind of path. It was great big slabs of concrete squares, and it was this path made with these great big square concrete slabs. And they were lifting the slabs, and they were finding bodies underneath the slabs.
Well, I mean, let's not give names, but let's do this.
All right.
The feeling is it a male or female that owns the house?
I got a feel it's a female.
There you go.
It's a female, and it's somebody who's never been in trouble before and stays under the radar. I think. All right. And I'll tell you exactly whose house it is as soon as I do some digging, because I got kind of an idea, but I'm not real sure. But everybody's throwing her name out there. She's never been caught yet. Seems not to be able to get caught.
What?
All right, Roll Apple, give me two women, and I'll tell you if one of them is right. I'm thinking, because I haven't seen this woman's backyard. I just know that, yeah, yeah. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. You know what, Royal Apple? That's exactly who I think's backyard I saw. but I can't say it for sure. There was grass between the slabs, and I'm going to tell you something else. Can I? Here, let me describe it to y'all. And if you see this backyard, please tell me whose backyard it is, okay? Let's go there. Let's go there, okay? Because I have yet to go looking into people's backyards yet. So I'll describe it. We'll all look for it, and we'll find it, all right? So the way I saw it is I never saw the front of it because I was on the side. So I was looking at the path of these great big cement slabs. And yes, there was grass between the slabs. Just a little bit, just enough to, separate them. And you go into the back and there's a great big field. Okay. It's like a field. It's not like it has all this. There might have been something when you first walked in, but beyond that, there was a great big open field. And this open grassy field had trees around it, great big trees around it. And they were bringing people out from under these trees. So really, KMM. I know, I can tell you that I know that the mansion was white just because I know the back side that I saw was white. Now I don't know what the front side looked like, but I think the back side was white.
Well, Connie,
I'm
go
sure that describes almost most of the mansions.
go and watch the interview that Oprah did in her backyard with Prince Harry and Meghan. That was in her backyard.
Okay. All right. Well, that
But how
would
many
give.
houses does she have? Who knows?
Well, see, I thought about that too, but um, it is a high end landscaping, but it has great big trees, and it has like a hollow, like they say a holler, where they have like trees on one side and trees on the other, but then there's a grassed area, and then it's like a grassed area, and the grass area goes on up,
Yeah.
and then it's all open. Grass.
Yeah. Excuse me.
So I don't know whose house it is. So we'll all look. All right, we'll all look together because I'd be curious to know whose house it is. I was going to do some deep diving, but I didn't have time. Yeah, that's exactly what we'll do. We'll look for pictures of the gardens. We'll look at the pictures of the backyards of people we know and the great names, and let's see by Thursday who comes up with it because I'll know that backyard. I'll know that backyard like I was in it, like I was standing in it. Oh, well, this one was pretty disturbing because they had backhoes and they were digging, and they were digging under trees. Let me see. It's your thing is no, no. I didn't look like that. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. I'm gonna look here because I was looking before. I was looking before we went on, and it's not like that. I want to show you. I saw something that was kind of like it, but it wasn't quite it because I couldn't. But it'll give you kind of an idea of what I saw. All right. Let me see. I saw a picture of something that was kind of like it. Um, All right, let me share this with you. And the only reason I'm looking this up is because I think it's her name, but because it may not be her, y'all. I just kind of feel like it might be, but so
Here, look at this.
look at this right here, not the front
Yeah.
part up here, but look at this bottom part here.
Yep.
But now this is where I want you to really look. See this holler up here, way up at the very top,
Mm-hmm.
where all the trees are around, and it's got this little grassy area. It was like that. And on the side of the house was this walkway.
Well,
So,
here, I'll pop this one up.
okay, pop it up. Let me stop sharing.
Right here. Slabs with grass between it.
Right. Yep. Something like that. But they were bigger, Linda, and they were clean cut, like real trimmed.
How about this?
Yeah, that well, they didn't have those. They didn't have those lawn chairs there.
Well, interesting.
But it looked like it was like a place that was like all these trees were around it, and it had grass in it, and nothing ever went back there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, well, this is interesting.
Mm.
That this,
No, I know it's in California. I know. I don't know where in California, but I know it's in California.
this right here. This is what is in Oprah's backyard.
See, isn't that something, y'all? Isn't that fascinating?
It's thick.
And it's big. And there's grass that is well trimmed. Many KMM, many, 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 many. Because I was like, it's a sea of blood underneath this ground. Many. You know, I've been praying and asking, oh, dear God, please don't even say this because I don't even want this to come out of my mouth. Please don't let this come out of my mouth. You're going to let it come out my mouth anyway. But I've been praying so hard about these 388,000 children that have disappeared that nobody can seem to find. And I keep asking, where are they?
Yeah.
Don't let this be it. Please don't let this be.
Well, most of her houses are white. Most of her houses are white.
Her mansions. See, I just got this feeling that she is all wrapped up all over this. And I can't put my finger on it, y'all. So if you see a picture of what I'm describing, let me see. Let me show you what I'm talking about. No, that ain't showing. That ain't. No, no. It's like It's like, it ain't like that. It ain't like any of this. It's like this kind of. It's like this, guys. But I was, you got to think, well, I guess that'd be the way I was looking at it. All right, let me see. Okay, look. Okay, look. It's kind of like this, but that thing wasn't there, of course, and those playground things weren't there. But it was, and see the way these trees are so thick and it's open like that. Well, this went all the way around the side and around each side of it. It was like in a horseshoe shape. Follow me?
Something like this.
Let me see. I'll stop sharing. Yeah, something like that. Except the trees were, yeah, just like that way back there in the back.
Back here.
Yeah. Whose house is
And
that?
look, that's Oprah's. That's Oprah's. This is her month. See, what is it? I don't know how to say it. Um,
Oh, you know she knows.
Montecito.
She knows. All right. I think she's all involved in this, y'all.
Oh, I.
And
That's
how
a
do you tell somebody, you know what, I had a vision and there's all these babies? I mean, you can't go say something like that because
no.
you're nuts. But the vision I saw, somebody had already turned her in. They were already digging. Hey, Teeny, it's good to see you.
Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, imagine all her money and Oprah. You know what? Oprah was called to court yesterday. She had to go before court, but nobody knows why.
Interesting. Which court?
Right before the judge, they said she had to go before the judge,
Well,
but
I
they
mean,
said,
where? Like
what?
California, New York?
New York, New
New
York.
York. Hmm.
Yep,
Interesting.
and they were saying it was something to do with Diddy. I'm telling you guys, I know what I saw, and I'll stand by it till the day I die. I saw it. I stood there and looked at that pathway, and I was watching them with their backhoe digging. And there wasn't just one backhoe, y'all.
Oh, no,
There
yeah.
was a bunch of them. They were destroying the whole backyard. And they were pulling up those great big slabs and everything else. And all this stuff was coming up. And I thought, whose house is this that I'm seeing? Whose house am I seeing?
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
And I'm going to tell you something. If it's her, you know, they say that she's one of the wealthiest women in America. She'll be one of the brokest women in America because they will confiscate everything she
So
owns.
think about this. If they confiscate all these millionaires and billionaires' mansions, homes, money, cars, what are they going to do with it all?
They'll put them up for auction.
And what are they going to do with the money?
It goes to the government.
Bingo.
Yeah, it goes to the government.
Why would the government get that? Why wouldn't they why wouldn't they do something for the families and for the people that are affected immediately affected? Not
You would think that's the way it should be, but they don't. They never do. That's how they do it, and it's pretty sick because they should do something for the families. That's what should happen, but they don't. They never do. I mean, even when they confiscate from the mob, all the money they confiscated from the mob and everything else went back to the government. P. Diddy's money will go back to the government.
unless it goes to his kids.
Well, you know what they said? Well, you know what? That's funny you brought that up. Everything P. Diddy owns is in his mama's name. He has given everything he owns and put it in his mama's name. But I was listening to a lawyer on a podcast, and he said, if it's in his kid's name, if it's in his whoever's name, as long as it was anything to do with him, it will be yanked. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is just going to keep going and keep going and keep going. It is.
yeah,
It's not
there's going to be a bunch of them that are going to be taken down from this. And Cat Williams said that this is the year of truth, 2024. I think what he meant to say is this is the beginning of the truth is 2024. I think it's really going to go in, it's going to trickle
Oh
down
yeah. It's going to
2025
go into 2025.
because there's so much to tell. Oh, yeah, Cat Williams said it was coming, and he was involved in all that. He watched it. He knew, did he?
He watched it all unfold.
Mm-hmm. And he knew it was coming. He said this will be the year 2024 will be the year of the truth when it came to Diddy. But you know what? I think it's going to trickle into 2025. Now, do I think that I got to tell you, I don't think a lot of people are speculating. They don't even think that Diddy's going to make it to trial.
I don't think he's going to.
You know what, Linda? I think he's going to make it to trial. And you know why I think he's going to make it to trial? Because he's going to squeal like a pig. I can see it already on the stand. He's going to squeal like a pig on a whole lot of people. And then I don't think he's going to last much longer. Do I think he's going to die? Oh, yeah, I think he's going to die. Someone's going to get a hold of Diddy. But do I think it's going to happen before like Epstein? Yeah, I think he's going to be able to squeal before. Because you know why I'm saying that? Because Epstein had a squealer that was still alive in Maxwell. Diddy don't have squealer other than him.
True.
So I think he's going to make it to trial, and then I don't think he's going to make it much longer.
Well, you know what, Royal Apple, I saw that they put him in that jail on purpose. It's one of the worst jails.
Yeah, that MDNC, that one that he's holding cell right now. He's how convenient. You know who his cellmate is? You know who's watching him? Oh my God, I can't wait to tell this because y'all are really going to laugh. All right, so when you're on suicide watch, the way it works is you got your cameras on you, right? And they're watching you on the camera. And then you have a glass door, and then you got a glass wall. And on the other side of the glass wall is an inmate that's watching you. And I thought, okay, so I was getting all this description, and I thought, now I don't know how Epstein got his deal because the guards went to sleep, fell asleep. The cameras went off, and the inmate went to sleep too. Because there's an inmate that's on the other side of the glass watching you too. Okay? He's there 24 hours watching you too. All right. What is that guy's name? What is his name that did that Ponzi thing just recently? That was in that mansion with all of his girlfriends and stuff. Remember that kid? Wind. Oh my God. Hang on just a second. I thought I'd never forget. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, his name was um 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 let's see. No, 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 no. That's not him. It's the one. I know you know who I'm talking about, Linda. The one that had the dark hair that was kind of curly, that was kind of goofy looking. Ben, his last name was, it's got a weird last name. And it was there and then it was all gone. And he had stole all kinds of money on crypto, I think.
Thank you, Royal Apple. We
What?
appreciate you guys too. She says, I love you girls. Thank you, Jesus, for people with true heart.
Um, I think it was I think it was a Ponzi, it was crypto or a Bitcoin or something.
Bitcoin.
Uh-huh. Let me see. Okay, let's see. Maybe it was during this time. Let me see. Maybe it was 2022. Um anyway, Sam Bankman. Does that name ring a bell to anybody? Sam Bankman? Okay. Sam Bankman was the one in 2022 that had that Ponzi scheme. And it was Bitcoin. And y'all, you know what? He's the one that's doing the watch.
Mm.
He's watching. Diddy. Yeah. No, you got to laugh about that because, here, I don't know if y'all remember what Sam Bankman looked like, but I'll get you a picture of Sam Bankman. And I know y'all remember this cat. I know you remember this cat. Okay, let's see. Let's get a good picture of him here. All right. Tell me you don't remember this dude. You remember him now?
Yeah. Yep.
This is the one I want you to know that's on the other side of the glass that's watching Diddy. And here's the funniest thing. Sam Bankman asked, he told him, I know he didn't want to go. They said, we're going to put you in general population. And he said, no, please don't. Don't. I want to be right where I'm at. Don't put me in general population, please. I want to be right where I'm at. So that's what he's doing. He's sitting on the other side of the glass watching Diddy to make sure Diddy don't kill himself. Isn't that funny? I thought that was funny. He's got a nerd watching him.
I just picture him in his cell, just pacing back and forth like a lion, pacing and pacing and pacing and pacing.
And Bankman's probably got his feet kicked up going like this. Because he's a nerd. Bankman's a nerd. I think it's funny. I find something kind of sickly humorous about that. the,
Yeah.
the head king rapper that thinks he's all that, and look at me, and I'm all that, and blah blah blah, and he's sitting on the other side. The guy that's watching him, I don't think they said that guy didn't even take a shower but once a week. Who's going to jail for? Who's going to? I just seen this lady. She's going to go to jail for 3 years. The girlfriend of who? Oh yeah. You know what? Yeah, she Yeah, they were. You know what they did is they got in this mansion and they just kind of took over this mansion and with this money they stole and they didn't furnish it or anything. They lived on the ground and it was the stupidest thing I'd ever seen in my life. Ordered in pizza and had a big party and it wasn't too long till you know he was busted. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But now that he spent all these people's money, you know, which was a lot. It was a lot. It was millions. He's watching Diddy walk. Y'all, come on. You got to find the humor there. You got to find the humor there because he's probably thinking to himself, how did I get so lucky to be sitting here watching this man walk back and forth? Who is he anyway? I'll bet this man doesn't even know who he is. He just knows he's on suicide watch and he just, yeah, 20. There you go. Look, $25 billion this man Ponzi scheme. And he's probably sitting there looking, watching, going, who is this guy I'm watching? Who is this guy? He's going to kill himself. I don't know who he is. They said he's a celebrity. Wonder what song he sang. Come on, y'all. It is funny because you know what? That nerd wasn't listening to P. Diddy. I can guarantee you that right now. No, he might have been. He was probably listening to something else.
Mm.
I think he was listening to anime traps. That's probably more up his alley. Yep, I'm telling you, I got it all down. So,
All right, you guys, I'm going to say goodnight.
yep, it's that time. We're all going to say goodnight. And Thursday is true crime. Same time, same place. And I've already done my dive for most of that. I got some more to go a little bit, but I'm going to finish up on old Way to Kiss Wilson. And then the first part of October, I get to start going into Sarah Boone. So that'll be interesting. So I love y'all. Thank you so much for all your support and being here with us tonight. It's so much fun. I love spending time with you. If I could, I'd spend all night, but I can't. And I will see y'all on Thursday. We'll have some more giggles on how stupid criminals are right now. They're just
love you
stupid.
guys.
They're just stupid.
And thank you for your.
Oh, and start looking up these backyards, huh? Let's see who finds the backyard. Hopefully,
Oh, you know what? Do you want to say a quick prayer for Justin Bieber to give him the strength?
I do. Dear Heavenly Father, I come before you with the humble grace of your honor and ask you, please shed your grace over Justin Bieber. Give him the strength he is going to need to go ahead to stand before these demons from hell. Give him the voice that he needs. Give him the strength that he needs and the protection that he needs that only that you can give him. Please, dear Heavenly Father, I ask you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right, you guys, Thursday, True Crime. We'll see you then.
See you then. Good night.
Good night.